and now I want to sit back and relax and enjoy my evening. When all of a sudden, I hear this agitating, grating voice.
Screw it. I've always wanted to see my art in a video game. I wasn't just gonna say no. Let's do this shit. The basic concept of this Umamusume Fangame is very simple. It's a catcher game where Oguri Cap runs around catching as much food as she can to score big points. So first we're gonna need an Oguri Cap running animation.
5 hours later.
It's done. 6 shitty drawings and an iced coffee later, the main Oguri running animation is complete. I'm not an animator by any means. My only experience is being on Footnote Studio way too young. I decided to add a white outline and a drop shadow to everything to give it more of that sticker feel. I think it makes it look a little more complete in a weird way, or maybe a cop-out way. So yeah, the animation looks pretty shitty, but we have a lot more to do, so let's just move on. After the animation was finished, Cyan gave me the rundown of what food would fall from the sky. There will be carrots, cake, broccoli, and spoiled food. There will also be a weight meter that affects how fast or slow Oguri runs. Eating healthy foods will speed her up, and eating cakes will slow her down, but give a big score bonus. So the player will have to decide whether or not it's worth it to go for them. There's no benefit to eating spoiled food, and eating it will decrease her mood, which is basically going to be a point multiplier. So we've got our work cut out for us here a bit. Let's start off with making the food. Carrot, check. Obligatory gotcha carrot, since Cyan asked for one, check. These will make a shit ton of carrots fall all at once and make her mood amazing for a limited time. Cake, check. By now, Cyan has Oguri moving around on the programming side. Right now, the aspect ratio is that of a mobile game, but we changed it to a square later to give players a little more space to maneuver. Broccoli, check. And spoiled food, check. It's basically a salad recolored purple with a pixel sensor on top to give it that vibe that it's so gross you don't even want to look at it. I also added in the original salad in case Cyan wanted to use it. Turns out he did. I'm glad, since I thought having extra food would give the game a little more variety. And I spent like 40 minutes drawing it, which is kind of ridiculous. Now we're gonna need a game over screen for when players don't reach the score goal for each difficulty level. Cyan requested that it be like a Silent Hill-esque background with Oguri all fat with an awful mood. I thought that sounded pretty funny, so here's the final product. Now we need to set up a title screen. Let's start with a title logo with Oguri Cap's matching colors. Next we'll add a simple gradient background and have Cyan figure out how to add a cute moving polka dot background. Cool, everything's set up on the title screen now besides the UI, which is gonna be a bit of a tedious process, but the show must go on. I'm also going to handwrite everything because we don't want to use a font that isn't ours without permission. Let's go over the basics for the UI. For each button, we're going to need a pressed and an unpressed version. The unpressed version will basically just be the button grayed out. Let's make a start button, have a yogurt pretzel break. Oh my gosh, Cyan added falling food to the title screen. Now it's looking even better. He also asked for a tutorial so people know the controls and the intricacies of how the game works. At first we thought the tutorial would stay really simple, and I mean really simple. My rationale for making this version was that we live in a I ain't reading all that world, and maybe it'd be fun for people to fuck around and find out what different things do in the game for themselves. In the end it was a no-go though. Let's make a proper tutorial later. It'll still be simple, but it'll be a little longer than just one page. Let's finish up some more UI buttons and worry about changing the tutorial later. Tutorial button, check. Quit button, check. Alright, now we've got to nail down what the UI will look like during gameplay. We need to make sure a timer, score, mood meter, and weight meter are all visible at all times, all while not obstructing the player's view too much. This was our first concept for how we're going to map it out. We thought it could be good to have the weight meter be represented by a ball and chain. In the end, we decided we'll just have the speed box and grades to represent how fast Oguri can go. The grades will range from G to SS. After a few rounds of edits, we finally finished the script for the tutorial. We had to make sure it was both clear and succinct. At this point, I realized that I totally forgot about music and sound effects. I barely have any experience with music production, to be honest, so we decided to use songs from Umamusume, but that didn't stop me from attempting to mess around with MIDI and make my own sound effects from scratch. None of them were green lit though. This one made for a sick ringtone though. We'll have 3 difficulties, G3, G2, and G1, in order of complexity. The harder the stage, the more frequent spoiled food will fall, and the faster all food will fall. We'll add a different song for each stage. Now let's make the buttons that will represent the different difficulties color-coded just as they are in Umamusume. Blue for G1, pinkish red for G2, and green for G3. Let's also make a leaderboard button so people can track their high scores over time. Now we're going to make all the moods. Great, good, normal, bad, awful, and our custom mood, amazing. Cyan will make a fun rainbow effect for that one. Whoops, almost forgot. We also need a back and a continue button, and some arrows so people can navigate the different screens. Cyan will make those have a fun bouncing animation as well. Now let's finally start building the tutorial. We'll add some cute new illustrations to illustrate what's going on a little better. Here's page 1, just telling the player the basic controls, and page 2, warning them about the mood meter. Page 3 and 4 will explain what the different foods do, and page 5 will reveal the exact score multiplier bonus each mood grants. Oh yeah, and let's add a dash button as well. That'll be with the shift button, so let's add that in there. Finally, the tutorial is complete. Now for a very important step. The player is gonna need some kind of reward. Otherwise, what's even the point of playing the game? What's that? The friends we made along the way? Let's make a goated victory screen that will make people feel accomplished when they clear a stage. You know what? Make that 3 victory screens, 1 for each difficulty, and let's make each of them have a different background effect. Hell yeah! If you want to play the game for yourself and don't want spoilers for the victory screens, play the game in the description now first. Each victory screen will feature a different cameo Umamusume that connects to Oguri Cap in some way. For G3, I chose Super Creek, losing to her in the donut eating competition from season 1. We'll have a whole bunch of confetti fly in for this one as well. For G2, let's have some continuity here and make it Oguri Cap gifting the giant donut prize pillow to Tamamo Cross, with falling donuts and hearts in the background. The victory screen for G1, in my opinion, is the most epic. Oguri will stand triumphantly with her trophy as the director gives her a delicious feast, as if she just won the URA finale. Next, we'll make a green go button to confirm a difficulty. No, not that green. No, not fiery red either. Perfect. And now we'll whip up a mood up and mood down effect that'll play next to Oguri depending on what food she picks up. By this point, we were feeling like we had made substantial progress. We thought we were in the home stretch by now, when all of a sudden, a literal natural disaster broke out that same day near Cyan, and he reported to me that he may not be able to finish this game. With bated breath, I waited to see if the programmer had died and or Oguri Catch would never see the light of day. But alas, 10 minutes later, Cyan sends me a message claiming this game is more important than his life. By then I knew we had to press on, and he ended up being okay, by the way. We're just finishing up the final touches now. Let's add in a time's up text when the player runs out of time on each stage. Alright, let's playtest this thing for the very first time. What the hell? Windows said this shit's a virus. I'll temporarily disable those blockers for that and give it a whirl. Let's bug fix. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, a few adjustments need to be made here. First off, Oguri moves so damn slow. Let's speed her up so the player can really feel her get faster and faster as her speed increases. Secondly, we need to get some proper sound effects in here, and the game crashes on the pause screen. Finally, oh, well, that's a problem. We'll have to adjust the score goals a little for each difficulty. Let's finalize it at G3, 3 minutes, 6,000 points or more to clear. G2 will be 4 minutes, 8,000 points or more to clear, and G1 will be 5 minutes at the longest with 10,000 points or more to clear. We'll also make the food spin slowly as it goes down, you know, to add character. Oh, and we forgot to add an options menu. No, that one's too boring. Yeah, that's cuter. Keep it on theme. Wait, oh my god, the game is done. And it's up on itch.io for you to play right now, for free. And the link is in the description. Yo!